Wow. All right, welcome guys. I'm so excited tonight. We have this special panel back again, and this time we found Stephanie. So welcome Stephanie. This is Stephanie Fritz, and she wrote the book Pregnancy, Birth and Babies, right? And essential oils. Can you correct me there?
Essential oils for pregnancy, birth and babies.
Yes, there you go. I have been sharing that book forever with everyone else that I know. And it's just been so, I guess, exciting to have Stephanie here with us. And of course, we have the lovely Debbie Gordon, and she taught me everything I know about pregnancy, birth, and babies. And I spread it and then shared it with all the people that I know, and then they started spreading that too. So then we have Karen here, Karen Bunker. She's also from Utah. So these three ladies from Utah. But Stephanie, she's a gypsy right now, but she's supposed to be from Utah. And Karen and I met just recently, and roughly just right before I met Anna, and they have a huge passion for babies, birth, pregnancy, and I figured this is a very important topic, and I really wanted to bring them here and share them with all of you, and help you kind of experience their knowledge and benefit from all the things that they want to share with you tonight. So ladies, why don't you just quickly introduce yourself again for people who are viewing this video, and then we'll get into the questions. Yeah, why don't we start with you, Stephanie?
So I'm Stephanie Fritz. I've been a midwife since the 80s and used essential oils since then as well. I am not quite sure what you want me to talk about, just I have all of my experience comes from using the essential oils myself. So anything that you read in my book, you're going to read about the safety of essential oils for pregnancy, birth, and babies and postpartum. You're going to read so much different information in different books, but keep in mind they were written for all oil users in mind. And so the information that you read from my book comes strictly from my own experience. It's not from the internet. It's not from, anything else. It's just from my own experience. So I can say with confidence that all of this, that everything that I write about and talk about is totally safe for pregnancy and in breastfeeding. So
that's beautiful. And we've tested it, Stephanie. And we've got like generations of doTERRA people testing it. Like my sister shared with her, she shared with her downline, and her downline shared with their downline, and it's worked. So I can second that. So thank you so much for sharing that. Debbie, why don't you go?
And I can third that. I've been following Stephanie since I met her way back in the, I don't know, at least 12 years ago, probably. And so I've been working with childbearing women since 1985 as a labor and delivery nurse, a childbirth educator, a hypnobirthing practitioner, a doula. And I love this topic. And I really feel like I've learned more from divine downloads than I ever learned in the textbook. And so I've been grateful for that experience as well. And so it's my love and passion.
I love and adore Debbie because we're actually family. And when she starts talking about this topic, I mean, she gets so excited and I get so excited, and just don't get her in the car when she's talking about it because she starts driving very fast. And then we're both like, whoa, hang on, Debbie, calm down.
Oh, you started the voice recording, so you have my book written.
I know. I should have carried the voice recorder, but I try to remember everything and then I share it with people. Yeah, so this is Debbie, and she helped me through all the births that I had. So I'm so grateful, so blessed. Go ahead, Anna.
Well, I'm Anna Heintzelman. I am also a doula and childbirth educator. I've been a doula for almost 4 years, and also the same, very passionate. I grew up in a very crunchy, hippie household, and so my mom used herbs and essential oils my whole life. So yes, it's definitely been a part of my life as well, and so it's something I love to share with my clients.
And all of this is important for people to know and adopt. I think more people should know about it. So thank you for being here. Karen Bunker. Oh, Karen, unmute yourself.
I thought excited.
Yeah.
I'm Karen. I used to be a lay midwife in Utah, and I'm not practicing right now, but I would say essential oils are a perfect fit for natural care and especially postpartum care. So excited.
Yeah. And I love that Karen is here because she did go through all of the training, and we talk about this, and this is so important because I feel like, and we both agree that, you know, in the future, you know, women really need this skill, whether they're trained or not. It's not like, you know, something that you only can just wait for a special person to help you with. Like with Debbie Gordon, she kind of helped me, and then a friend her parents, her mom couldn't come, and it was just her and her husband. And I mentioned to her, like, you know, some of the things I knew, and then she's like, "Do you think you can come to my birth?" And I'm like, "I would be honored, right? But I'm not an expert, okay? I just will do what I need to do." And so I had Debbie texting live on the phone with me as I was going through this birth, and I helped this girl, and it was so spiritual to me. And then she was so inspired after that birth to become a doula herself. And I was like, oh, I must have done a good job then, right? But then I'm like, hang on, I'm not an expert, but, you know, I'm able to walk her through this journey. So I feel like what Karen was saying, you know, as many women as we can to learn these skills, you know, the better things will be. So, and that will be the future for us too. So ladies, let me thank you so much for introducing yourself. Let me start with the first question. So what are some of the most common concerns at postpartum that people should know about? Anyone want to start that? Just very common. Go ahead, Stephanie. Or Debbie, go ahead, Debbie. Yep.
You know what, I really think that what kind of a birth a mother has will certainly influence her postpartum experience. And so last time when we talked and did this class for the labor and birth part, you know, just making sure women are supported in birth and experience a beautiful birth, whether it be ideal or not. We do everything we can to wrap ourselves around their desires, and creating an ideal birth for them really helps them step into motherhood more confidently. And so the labor and birth experience play into their postpartum experience for sure. But there's a lot of things. I mean, this is a loaded question when we talk about postpartum experience, and certainly nutritional needs are paramount. Sleep deprivation is a big concern as we take care of this newborn baby around the clock. Any tissue separation, whether it be the perineal tissue or whether it be a surgical birth, we need to attend to that. Getting the uterus back to its normal size. There's some healing that takes place with that. Breastfeeding support, learning needs, wrapping ourselves around them to help them step into this new community or this new experience, this new chapter rather, would be really, really vital. So those are just some thoughts off the top of my head.
Yeah. So I think there's some of my friends that want to get pregnant one day. They're not there yet, but they just want to have like an idea of, you know, I want them to have confidence that they could do things and not be overwhelmed about all the things that they have to do after birth. So so that's a good start, a good list there, Debbie. Stephanie, go ahead.
I think I've heard from multiple people that, you know, we prepare, you know, when you're pregnant, you want to read everything you can about birth. And so you're totally prepared for birth, but nobody they don't give you enough information about postpartum, and postpartum is hard. Mm-hmm. It is that first week, the first 6 weeks are hard, but especially that first week. And so I think just preparing mom for that, I have found, I always tell moms day 4 is the hardest because your milk comes in by then. Sometimes dads have had to go back to work by then. Family sometimes goes home, and everybody's life gets to go back to normal except for yours. And now you have sleep deprivation. You've not slept for a few days. Your milk comes in. You're trying to get this good latch. You're, in both the experiences I've just had in the recent months, tongue ties have been a big deal. And I'm seeing more and more of that also. And so therefore, latch is hard, just all the experience. And so I think the more that we can prepare moms for this time, I say on day 4, I have a talk with dads. Day 4 is a really great day. If you're going to bring your wife flowers or your spouse flowers, day 4 is the day to do it. Say, be prepared, have that set aside as a secret little weapon that you bring out on day 4, and just know that it's not about you. She's not frustrated with you. It's just she's overwhelmed. So I tell mom that's a good day to watch a chick flick, because sometimes you just want to cry and you don't even know why. And so watching a chick flick gives you a reason to cry and a reason to release without even knowing why you need, why you're doing this. And so but day 4 is hard across the board, almost 100% of the time. And it can be day 3, it can be day 5, but it's right in that time frame. So
that is so beautiful. I love it. Just the idea of allowing support, and then if you're not the mom, being the support, and then having that compassion, and then allowing, giving them permission to cry. That's so good. And it's a huge adjustment, isn't it? Yeah. So Anna or Karen, who would like to go next? Anna, I was just pointing at you.
Sure, I can go next. My thoughts are very similar to Stephanie's, that what I always share with my clients is, yes, that day 3, 4, 5 is so difficult. And I think myself, even with my own 6 births, I felt like it was so important to have this positive mentality, and that I could bounce back and be superwoman. And I wanted to prove to my husband and to my family and to other people around me that, I could have this beautiful out of hospital birth, for example, and I'm fine. I'm good. Now look at, and instead of taking the time to heal and really understanding, like so many other cultures, they have women stay in bed for days on end and really mother the mother, which I think is so important. And so just allowing yourself to heal and not feel like you have to be superwoman, that your job is to just feed that baby, to rest and recover. And so that's a big thing that I talk to my clients about, is just allowing themselves and giving themselves the permission to just heal and to not be superwoman and let other people serve you. And to, sometimes they don't know how to ask for help. And so initiating a support system before baby even arrives, that, that they have support that's going to be there, and they have a list of things that they feel comfortable with other people giving them that support. Like some people don't want their mother-in-law to come in and clean their bathroom, but they would be okay with her bringing a meal and leaving. So just knowing and asking what they feel comfortable with so that they can receive the support they need.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. Karen?
Yeah, my thoughts are very similar. I was gonna say postpartum care is mother care. And as much as you can think about that beforehand is so important and so ideal, because everyone's different and everyone has different needs or things that will help them feel supported. And so sometimes having a mom be able to get up and do the dishes will help facilitate in making her feel strong. But one big job that's taken off their list that the partner takes from them just from the get-go, they just know that for the next 6 weeks, they're in charge of laundry, or, whatever it is. And then supporting the mother weekly, I would say, much like you do with prenatals, whether that's getting a foot zone or having a massage therapist come in, or whether that's flowers, like Stephanie said, like just having a plan of where a mom is taken outside of the mother role for a minute. So she's reminded what it feels like to be herself again. I mean, I've had so many moms relate. I just want to, can I just go to the gas station and get an ice water? So I just am out of the house for this long to just feel like myself again. And just recognizing that and communicating that with a partner and the mom beforehand, saying what's important to you and how do you feel supported is really big.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is get a support network together, get a kind of a support system and a plan, and then allowing yourself to ask for the help that you need, right? So guys, for new mums, let's get a little bit more specific. What are some of the things that these new mums might need? Like, you know, some of them, they really can't visualize and imagine the things that they might need. I had a wonderful, wonderful support group, but I know that it can be like really, really a big shock for other people. So yeah, Jamie, would you like to share something? Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you to all the ladies for your comments, because it's so relatable for me. You know, like Stephanie said, I thought, you know, I would be fully prepared, reading 1,000 books, you know, have so many apps, like following the progress of, you know, my babies. But it totally didn't prepare me for the crazy sleepless nights and, you know, busloads of people coming in to visit, and my crabbiness, you know, and my crying and stuff. And my husband's just like, what's wrong with you, you know? And I'm like thinking, your friends are staying over till midnight, like, and then I have to get up at night, you know? And I think when you're talking about support, you don't really know beforehand, before you have kids, what kind of support you need.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those things I think is like what Karen was saying, what is it that would help you lessen the load, or like, you know, someone dropping off food or something. I think that's great. But also I think the husbands need a lot of guidance. I think husbands don't know how you're feeling. They don't know how you feel about your body afterwards, you know, and then how people coming over randomly and you look like crap or you feel like crap, and then they're just like overstaying and stuff like that. So I think we had like major disagreements for our first child, but then the second child we were like, okay, now we know what to do, you know, now we schedule time, or, you know, he's going to do this and I'm going to do that kind of thing. And so I think it's really, really important what your support group looks like, and also like informing or communicating with your husband how he could support you better. And I think that would help so much, because, you know, those late nights where you're up late and then they're sleeping soundly and you just resent them so much for sleeping well, you know. And I think a lot of women go through that, and they just don't know that it might happen to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's good to talk about these experiences.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So what would we say would be the postpartum time? Would it be like about 6 weeks or more? What would you say?
I say 9 in, 9 out.
Okay.
I was going to say the first year.
That baby has been in the womb for 9 months, and so now it needs to be out of the womb, connected still to you for 9 months, and that time is that taking care of mom also. So that's my, you know, I mean, you could say the first year I just do a 9 in, 9 out.
I love that. I love that saying.
Too.
I'm going to say it now with people.
Because we have this thing that it's 6 weeks.
Mhm.
And people all too often, moms and dads, feel like they're just broken if they don't have it all together.
By 6 weeks. Yeah.
That's
No, it takes that full year to get to feel like, okay, I might think I'm on top of this now.
Yeah.
It's a while. And so, I also think that if we can help moms, like those of us that are, we all have friends that are pregnant. We're, those of us that are right here might be professionals, but still on a friendship level, I have lots of friends that I'm just going to gift them certain things to help make their postpartum time a little bit easier. Yarrow Palm Serum is hands down the best thing you can do for sore nipples. And hands down, every single mom has sore nipples. So that is just it heals like that, like instantly. Cracked, bleeding nipples, it will heal almost overnight. So everyone remember that. It is such a lifesaver. And so if we can think of little things like that to help our moms that we are in contact with, to help them have that easier transition, then I think that's that's helpful too.
Yeah, I love that. I just recently gave my friend one of those shea butters with rose and helichrysum, for the sore nipples. But I think, I'll check on her after she has her baby and just ask if she needs something else. So Yarrow Palm, guys, that's awesome.
The Yarrow Palm Serum.
Serum.
And
Yep.
that's not a limited time. We can always get that. And so
that's the 30 mLs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, it's the 4 ounce.
Okay, that's the body.
The body one.
The body serum.
Body serum. Okay.
Body serum.
Yeah, that's.
And I just have them put it on after they nurse. No need to wash it off.
Mm-hmm.
And it is like magic. It's so awesome.
I love that. Great tip. All right. So the other tip that I know of, and guys, just think of the other tips that you want to share, okay, right now, is take Terrazyme. Continue to take Terrazyme very religiously, because when you need to go to the bathroom, it's not an effort and it's not going to hurt so much, right? But if they forget, it's just painful. Anyone else? Any other tips?
Terrazyme is also good for pain management.
Oh, okay.
But you take enough of it and on an empty tummy. So like, for instance, my daughter whose birth I was just at, she had a vaginal breech delivery, but she had a 4th-degree tear. And so she had an amazing repair done, absolutely amazing. She didn't even hurt at all. It was, she could sit down, there was no pain whatsoever. But on day 3 or 4, probably day 4, she noticed that her body was, she was just feeling that run down. And she did a scan, and Terrazyme came up as number 1. And so she took 4 Terrazyme right then on an empty tummy, and that pain went away pretty quickly. That was like her pain management, all she needed. So don't ever, I saw on one of the Facebook group pages something about Terrazyme, and is it really a thing to take that on an empty stomach? Does it really work? And I piped in and said yes, absolutely, and gave a whole list of things that if you don't take Terrazyme on an empty stomach, you're going to miss out on this many things. It's so valuable. So anyway, yeah, Terrazyme, great. I second that, Jade, 100%.
Yeah. So my sister, I didn't know she was not taking it. And she was like letting me know, hey, I'm really struggling, going to the bathroom. And I'm like, are you doing this? Are you doing Terrazyme as well? And she's like, oh no. And then she texted me back. She's like, worked like a charm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was early on in our doTERRA life.
Yeah. But now she knows. All right. Any other awesome tips, ladies?
I want to hear from Anna before she leaves.
Yeah.
I didn't have anything written down necessarily, but for sure, as far as like oils go, I love, telling my clients especially, and for myself, I love to diffuse things that were calming, serenity, things to be able to sleep well when you can sleep. Just anything that can just help you to, balance your emotions and, everything. Sleep deprivation, you really understand why it's used as a torture tool. When you are so exhausted, it's just being able to have, whatever good sleep you can get. It's so important. So I love, having them diffuse oils, massage on their feet. And on baby too.
I love that. Thank you so much for that. And then the perineum spray. That's huge. Okay, so do you guys want to talk about that?
My favorite is the Immortal Blend. I love to use about 1/3 of a bottle of Immortal and a couple ounces of fractionated coconut oil and just spray that on the perineum every time they go to the bathroom. So ideally, we don't have tissue separation, right? But if we do, that's a really great help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just helps put things back together properly, and you're not going to sting when you pee, and it just for all the ladies that I told about that, they're like, oh my gosh, that was a lifesaver. Yeah,
it was a lifesaver.
Mm-hmm.
With all the stinging and stuff down there, but also some warm water while you're peeing.
Yeah, because you get nervous when you have to go pee. Yep, and it repairs half the time.
That peri spray, you can also spray on a pad and freeze those. And then that's like I call those pad sickles. And put those in the freezer and just, stack those up. So you have those for right after for postpartum.
That's brilliant. That's so good. Love it. All right. Anything else, ladies? Other tips?
I just wanted to comment on what Jamie said about help training the men, or getting the men to help. Something that's really funny to me is that as a woman, a lot of times we think if we offer to help someone, a lot of times we're hoping that they say no, right? We're like, so we don't really have to help. And so we think we're doing a favor when we say no to someone else. We think we're doing a favor when someone offers to help us and we say, no, I've got it. But with men, and especially husbands, I can't even count how many times giving a husband or a partner a task at birth or postpartum, if they have something to do that they're helping is a way that they can love their partner. Giving them something to do is supporting them too, that they want to feel like they can win and be a part of it. So one of the things I do is just really encourage moms that telling their partner how they can help helps them win and helps them feel like they're a part of things. And so don't say I don't need anything. Don't say I don't need help. Even if you can't think of something right then, make yourself think of something. I've had to train moms to say, I just need a kiss on my forehead. If that's all you can think of something that they can help with.
I love that. And that really does help the father feel useful and part of this whole thing. It's not just the woman. Jamie?
Karen, I have no problems telling my husband what to do physically, because he was so overjoyed to have a baby, and he was just so wanting to, get in there and be a really great dad. And so I let him change the diapers for about a month, because like I did all the breastfeeding and, you know, things he can't do, I do. And I realized, like, why do we keep getting these poo accidents? You know, it would shoot out everywhere, and I'm constantly doing the laundry, and you know, it somehow would get on my leg all the time. And what I realized after the whole month of diaper changing is that he didn't know how to put it on properly. Yeah. And it was just hilarious, because once he learned that he had gaps around the thighs, that after that he would tell all his friends, okay, this is how you change their diapers, okay, because I'm expert now.
Yeah.
But yeah, on another note, I think it's our crazy emotions after having a baby that you don't know what to ask for, like emotionally, I think. And I think that was kind of confusing. I think it was confusing time for me after my first one.
Yeah. And I like what Debbie said, the nutrition is big, right? If you can continue on with that lifelong vitality pack, it'll keep you know, you more stable, right? Because you're already going to experience a lot of fluctuations of emotions. Just to make sure that you know, you have that consistency. Yeah.
I have.
Sorry,
Go ahead, Debbie.
I love the daily health habits.
Mhm.
That's a really great plan postpartum, with the lifelong vitality pack, the Terrazyme that we've talked about already, the probiotic, the frankincense under your tongue, the balance on your feet and spine, diffusing the balance. It's a really great plan. The lavender or serenity for sleep. It's a really great simple plan to help ensure a great postpartum. Another tip that I would, of course, and that would be, you know, my favorite combination is, of course, the Clary Calm. And usually we need, while we need a little bit more, the copaiba, marjoram, and frankincense together is a really great add. And if they've got a used bottle of Clary Calm, add some copaiba, add some frankincense, add some marjoram to that blend, and apply that topically to the lower abdomen. And that's really, really helpful for after pains for those first few days. And usually it's about 72 hours or so where it's the most intense. And so that's really helpful. And to do that before breastfeeding, we're going to bring on those after pains with breastfeeding. Anytime they're feeling cramping, is really helpful. And if they have had Pitocin during labor at any time, either to augment their birth, to induce their birth, or after the baby was born, I find that combination really, really helpful. The Clary Calm, copaiba, frankincense, and marjoram.
All right, I love it. So Clary Calm, copaiba, frankincense, marjoram. You pre-make that, or just, you know, have it in a baggie ready to go?
I would definitely pre-make it.
Okay, guys, so that's one of the things you can do. Is there a specific ratio, or just?
You know, I've always been of the opinion till you feel like you have enough.
Yeah.
How I operate, that's how I teach.
Yeah.
So like if they have a used bottle of Clary Calm, depending on how full that bottle is, you know, they may or may not have room to add those others. They might want to make a second roller, or start over and pour some of their Clary Calm in a roller bottle and add the others. I'm of the mind to drip till you feel like you have enough. What would you say, Stephanie?
Yeah, I mean, 10 to 20 drops of each of those in your half a bottle of Clary Calm. I mean, I'm very, very intuitive. It's not a science. You can't go wrong. And so I'm your same mindset, Deb, for sure.
I love that, because I do that, and it just feels like, you know, ladies, you just can't go wrong. You know, don't stress over it and say, I don't want to do this because I don't want to do it wrong. There's going to be no explosions or anything. You're just going to just heal, okay, and you'll just adjust. But get it ready. Again, Clary Calm, copaiba, frankincense, and marjoram. And I remember Dr. Heal said bergamot as well, with the, you know, because after birth we're going to have these contractions as your uterus starts to shrink again, and it's just as painful, you know, and so just keep it going, keep it on. And then would you put like a warm pack on top of that?
Sure, drive it in deeper.
Yeah.
And the bergamot is so relaxing.
Mhm.
And bergamot is really great for anything stress. So it's so relaxing and it smells divine. It makes everything smell delicious. And so that uplifts the mood as well.
Mhm.
So that's a great ad.
Mhm. Another tip that I would just thought of just now is, practice being flexible and accepting help, because people might not do exactly the things exactly the right way, like laundry or whatever, but just be okay with that. For me, I didn't have any expectations, and I was doted on by mom and my aunties, and everyone came over, and so I didn't move. I didn't go back to the States right away. So I hung out with my mom for a couple of months. And so I had all the meals and everything. I mean, they had lots of hands. Oh my goodness. I didn't get to change the diaper for about a month. And like even my dad, my mom, and everyone tried to participate in bathing the baby. And they're like, this is so much fun. And I'm like, it takes them like an hour to bathe because they're like giggling and my turn, my turn. So I had that beautiful experience. But I know that if I look back and if I had have just moved home right away, I moved out and was on my own, it'd be hard to just like have someone say, well, I'll come over and they'll do the laundry and, where to put laundry and all of that. And you can easily get stressed. I can visualize that. You can easily get stressed that that's not where it goes and that's not how I put the dishes away. But just let people do stuff for you and just be flexible and be okay. Because it's not about the cleanliness right now. It's about you enjoying this time, because the baby is going to grow up really fast and going to chunk up really fast within a month, right? And you've just got this small window to like rest and enjoy this little baby. So yeah, have the right focus, I think. Yeah. Other tips, ladies? Jamie?
I have a question for the pros.
Yeah.
This happened to me quite often, but my milk would get clogged. What would you do?
Stephanie, you want
I recommend, this sounds so weird, but Citrus Bliss massaged in right directly onto that lump works like magic. But you just want to be on top of it. So warm compress, massaging while you're nursing, that can turn into a mastitis within 2 hours. So you just want to be really on top of it. Make sure that you can use just a drop of Digestin, because just like Digestin breaks up things in your tummy, it's going to break up things everywhere else, like your sinuses we talked about earlier. It will also help with the clogged gut. You want to just be mindful though, because it does have peppermint in it. And so it can decrease your milk supply. So just be mindful of that. Drink extra water. You're only using a scant drop and really just massaging it in. But Citrus Bliss works really great also.
That's so cool. Debbie, did you want to share?
if they've got full-blown mastitis, I think it's really simple with the oils. It's much more simple than the antibiotics. And so I love my favorite one. And I believe, Stephanie, I probably learned this from you. My favorite one, I mean, the book says lavender. That's a great one. Most of the time, mastitis is caused from mom overdoing it. And so we have to step back into mom taking care of baby and herself rather than taking care of everybody all at once. And then I find they do much better. But I find rosemary is my favorite one for mastitis. So a combination of lavender, tea tree, the Citrus Bliss, as she said, is really helpful for clogged ducts. But when we get into mastitis, I like to add some rosemary.
That's so good. So would you just apply it on topically there?
Topically. Mm-hmm. With obviously some dilution.
Yeah. So after you breastfeed, you just apply that so it disappears by the next feed.
I also have all of my moms order a homeopathic in pregnancy, so they have it already on hand. It's Phytolacta, P-H-Y-L-A. I can't remember how you spell it, but Phytolacta with a P-H-Y.
Mm-hmm.
And you just take 2 little pellets on the first onset of if you get flu symptoms, feeling fluish, I just have them take that, and then whenever they're feeling like that, take it like 3 times the first day, once or twice the second day, and it's gone. It's it's awesome. So I do have an oil protocol that I do that's like a natural antibiotic. But I'm having them jump on that and do both of those things, because mastitis is something, a clogged duct is one thing. You can massage that out and get that out pretty quickly, pretty easily. But when it turns into mastitis, you are sick. It's like the worst flu you've ever had. You're not throwing up. You just have the body aches and fever and chills, and you're miserable. And so I want to avoid that from the very beginning. So if I can get that homeopathic in there right away, then it just takes care of it. So it's really inexpensive. It's like $6 from Amazon. And so I just have all of my moms do that for sure.
Just in case. Yeah.
Just in case, just to be prepared. It's great for glands. So that's why it works for mastitis, because those are glands. And so it's good, like if you get a sore throat and strep throat comes on, then that's actually what it's for. But it works well for mastitis as well. The other thing I wanted to just mention really quick that somebody, you may not know, is I recommend to avoid the Always brand of pads. There is some sort of chemical in there that has caused multiple chemical reactions to my clients and others that I know. So I just say, when you're purchasing your postpartum pads, avoid the Always brand. So there's many others you can pick from. I actually recommend cloth pads, but the Always brand, I've had so many chemical burns from those particular pads that I just say avoid those. So that's not something that everybody knows, but you don't want to be one of those that has that gets that burn and that infection from using those.
Yeah, that's so good. Good to know. Thank you so much. So what about breastfeeding? Any tips on that? Oils to help more breast milk?
I love basil. That's my favorite, but I've used basil, clary sage, and fennel. Those are the things I have used. I've had the best results with basil. You could make a blend with them together. But depending on what they have on hand is where I start. And to tender nipples, I love myrrh oil. So I'm really excited to consider the Yarrow Palm Body Serum. But I've always used myrrh oil. Myrrh oil is really a great oil postpartum for lots of reasons. But it's really helpful. About 15 drops in about a 10 ml roller. That's all you need. And that's really helpful for, throw in the Yarrow Palm with a few drops of myrrh, and I think you've got incredible.
You got a great combo there. Myrrh.
Copaiba is really great for that breast, that milk supply as well. And if mom can breastfeed within the first 30 minutes of birth, that helps set her up with a really great milk supply.
Awesome. So you've got basil, fennel, copaiba, and is it clary calm, Debbie? Is that
clary sage? Clary sage. If I say I mean clary sage.
Okay, for breast milk. And you would it just massage it on the breast?
Yep. Make a roller bottle, massage on the breast. That's after refeeding. We want them to feed first, massage that on the breast, and the massage is going to be helpful. And so to increase milk supply, there's a lot of factors that can pay into that milk supply. And I find in my neck of the woods, when we have so many inductions and they're on Pitocin for extended periods of time, I find that really affects the timing of their milk letdown. So anytime we have a medically manipulated birth, I find that affects milk supply and affects milk letdown. So
that makes sense. Yeah.
I do have a milk maker blend in my book, in my digital download book. And I'll give you the recipe if you want that right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
2 geranium, put it in a 10 ml roller bottle. And this is the recipe that I have printed out. I will often double or quadruple my personal recipes, but I get a lot of flack when someone says, really, that many oils in a bottle? And so fine, I'll just, I just cut it back. And for me personally, and anybody that is intuitive and knows me, they would know that, they would feel comfortable doubling or quadrupling as well. So this is the recipe in the book, but keep in mind, I will often increase that a bit. 2 geranium, 5 clary sage, 5 copaiba, 3 basil, 3 fennel, 2 lavender, and 2 Roman chamomile. And I have them, and then fill the top with fractionated coconut oil. Apply that after breastfeeding. So there's no need to wipe it off after, before the next feeding. And then also 1 to 2 copaiba soft gels, 2 to 3 times a day. So you don't need to use that blend forever, the whole time you're breastfeeding. It's only when you're having a growth spurt, baby's having a growth spurt, or you've been sick and used up all your zinc stores and you need a little extra boost. That's when you would use a blend, a blend to anything to increase your milk supply, only when needed. And I just say, use it for 3 or 4 days until you notice that increase, and then you're good. You don't have to continue to use that.
That is awesome. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Go ahead, Ashley.
Okay, I had a question. So I breastfed perfectly fine. I have 6 kids that are breastfed. For like the first 4, totally fine, and then the 5th one, I didn't do any oils. I didn't know oily things at this point. But for my daughter, I would breastfeed her and then give her formula because she was so hungry. And then with my son, I would pump, and I only got probably 2 ounces of milk, and then the rest I would do formula. And I breastfed or I pumped like that for probably 8 months. I did that. Is there would this work on something I'm not having any more kids, but I'm just thinking because I have daughters, would that help for that too? That combo, is that just for if there's a growth spurt and you need more milk, or is that a solution to diminished breast milk? Yeah.
I would say this would definitely help. Stephanie, you're muted. But again, there's lots of factors going into that, Ashley. You're probably overdoing it. You're probably working like crazy. You're probably not drinking enough. You're probably not.
Yeah, because you've had more, several kids before as well. Yeah.
I did have post-eclampsia also. I had where you get it afterwards. I had post-eclampsia with my last baby, and I'd never had anything like that before in my life.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So those things are so awesome, guys. But just because we are running out of time, can we talk about some tips for newborn babies, some essential oil tips and other tips that you have, some juicy information?
Well, what I learned for newborn babies was the anointing. I learned that from Stephanie's book.
Yeah.
I love the baby anointing. And so I love a mirror around and on the tip of the umbilical cord. Balance down the spine and on the feet. Melissa on the feet. They've got it. Those are magnificent to just welcome that baby here. I like to, I like to do that after they've breastfed the first time. But and of course with mother's permission. Babies come into the world and we want them to smell their mother's aroma. And so doing it after they've had that initial bonding time is I think really appropriate. And I just find when I apply the balance, I've had it so many times where the baby goes, and it's just that was the big journey. Welcome. We're so glad you're here.
That's so awesome. I love that. Yeah. Anything else, ladies?
Yes, I have a tip to apply fractionated coconut oil all over baby's bottom at every diaper change, because that neck is sticky. and it's hard to get off. And if you apply fractionated coconut oil at every diaper change, it just slicks right off so quick and easy. And so makes diaper changing with that mech so much easier.
And Stephanie, I add to that. I love to gift new mothers a 4-ounce bottle of fractionated coconut oil with 3 to 4 drops each of lavender, tea tree, and Roman chamomile. And I use it for everything baby. I use it for their diaper changes. I love to use it for any kind of diaper rash. I love to use it for any kind of colic issues, upset, fussy baby, not sleeping well, after the baby's bath and massage. I use that for everything, and it lasts a long, long time. You only need a little bit, and I find that it lasts 6 to 9 months for that 4-ounce bottle.
Oh, right. So fractionated coconut oil, Debbie, lavender, Roman chamomile, and what was that, the one?
Tea tree.
Tea tree. That's so good, you guys. Yep. I love it. So if you have the option to give them essential oils, okay, or diapers, you know, they can get diapers on their own. This is gold. So good. I like that tip with the newborn poop. That's so good. Right. Any other ideas? Any other tips, ladies?
I was just going to mention, this isn't for newborn baby, but postpartum depression hasn't really been touched on, and that's a huge topic all by itself. But so I'll just go really quickly is, in addition to any doTERRA supplements, they might be taking vitamin D, 10,000 IU a day. I think all women honestly should be taking that amount every single day. But that's huge for postpartum balancing. And then consult and adaptive, just for comfort and balancing, and just to watch, you know, something that Jamie said about I can ask him to do physical things, but I don't know what to do about emotions, is just helping the partner understand that they don't have to fix it. They just have to be there and help give their partner their power back. Just, I believe in you and I'm here, and you know, so that's my last little bit.
Oh, that's so good. So encouraging. I think, you know, we could do like a whole class on how to encourage husbands, you know, before birth and after birth. We should do that, something like that. That's so good.
Just add, I'm a real proponent of placental encapsulation.
Yes.
I find that really supports a healthy postpartum.
You did that, Debbie, with Jamie.
Yeah, makes a big difference, especially if they've got a history of depression and anxiety, which is very prevalent today.
So good. Yeah, you guys, that's so important. I advocate for that too. Okay, any other tips, ladies, before we end tonight? I know there's tons more we can talk about, but what comes to mind?
I just wanted to put a plug in for my book, Essential Oils for Pregnancy, Birth, and Babies. I also have the digital book. So my digital was 30 pages, and I increased it to about 130. So it's a companion to the bound book. I won't ever update my bound book. It's just foundational and has great information, just like it is. The digital book is completely updated. So they're meant to be as companions for each other. I can't tell you one is better than the other. However, my digital book has all of my blends in it, and it has a portion in the back where I have identified all of the essential oils and how they relate to pregnancy, birth, and babies. So you're not going to find how, you know, lemon relates to cleaning. You're going to find out how it relates to pregnancy, birth, and babies. And as far as I know, that's the only place that you can find all of that information in one place. Yes. And as my gift to all of you tonight, and to any anyone that you know that you want to pass this code along to, please feel free. I just want to make sure, I want everybody to have this information. So when you go to my website, theessentialmidwife.com, you can go to the shop area and get my book, my digital, there's lots of things on there. Use the code JADE20 and you'll receive 20% off.
Awesome.
So, and feel free to pass that along to your friends, anyone that you know that could benefit from that. I just really want to get this information out there and get and help people feel comfortable and confident using essential oils for their babies and for their pregnancy and for their postpartum, to take the fear away from using these. People will take a Tylenol or antibiotics or whatever without questioning. Yeah, they're going to question lavender. And so I just want to, just take that fear away and help people feel just comfortable and confident in using them and empowering them to use these with their families. So J20.
Thank you so much, Stephanie, for that. I'll put that on the description of the YouTube video as well. So it's this book, isn't it? I just looked it up.
Yes.
There. So,
and the digital guide, and there's also affirmation cards, and there's a bunch of stuff on there.
So if we go to the Kindle, is that the digital version?
Well, you go to my website.
And
no, the digital version is the essential oil guide for pregnancy, birth, and babies.
For the essential,
and it's just on my website. It's not on the digital version is not on Amazon.
Okay, so the essential oil midwife here, Stephanie, this is your website, right? So it's on here, and if you go to shop, right?
Yeah.
There you are. What a cute picture. Okay, and this is the digital download. See.
Yep.
All right, this is where you guys get it. So I'll put your website on the description of our video. We're going to put this on YouTube.
Perfect.
All right, guys, so there it is. And so you can get it here, or the physical book you can get on Amazon, right?
Yep, you can get it all. You can get my physical book there as well.
Okay, beautiful. So good. Thank you so much. And I feel so privileged to have all of you guys on here. Debbie and Karen and Stephanie and Anna, she had to go. This is so awesome, this wonderful community. And if you're watching this video and you have other questions, you can actually ask in the comments below, and then you can also contact these ladies as well, so we can start a conversation. And the idea is to spread this message that you can have a better birth and better recovery with essential oils and natural products, and let the other ladies that or your lady friends that and their families know that they can have this option. And also Debbie Gordon's website, the Debbie Gordon, okay, .com. That's the website for Debbie, and I'll put that in the description as well. Did I miss anything? Anything else you guys want me to mention before we end our recording tonight? Any last encouraging messages to the mums? Well, ladies, I feel like you can do this in this day and age. We have all of the resources that are available for us, and you can ask these ladies that probably wish they had all of this knowledge and the essential oils way back when. So please just feel free to share this video with your friends, and we'll talk next time. Thank you so much, and I'll stop the recording now. Thank you, ladies, for joining us.
Thank you, Jade, for having us.
Thank you so much.